In this video, I am going to show you how to resize an image so that it will work as a thumbnail image on our district website. This is an example of a parent page with 6 children that there's no actual content in the body of this page, but we have designated this page to display the children in child image grid form. And the image that shows up is the thumbnail image when you do that. So this one right here is not the appropriate dimensions to be a thumbnail, and I want to show you how you'd resize it so that it would look okay on a page like this. So I'm going to click on the page because I really want to copy that image because I'm going to resize it. If you have an image on the web, most of the time, if you're on a Mac, you can hold down the control key, which I'm doing with my left hand, click on the image because then you can actually copy it. If you are using Skitch, which is my recommendation, it should kind of always be running, which is indicated by the dot underneath this icon on my dock. So if I click on Skitch and now I paste, which is a Command V, it opens up in the software. Now what I know about thumbnail images is that they are approximately 270 pixels long across by 174 pixels up and down, or from top to bottom. So the very first thing I'm going to do to this is I am going to reduce the height of it because I have to get down. If you look down in the lower corner here, the height is 337. I have to get that down to 174. So the very first thing I'm going to do is take care of reducing size if I need to. So to reduce the size of the image and keep it in proportion, so not to change the dimensions, you go to the corner of the Skitch window, you click on that and you drag it in. Now while I'm dragging, if you look in the left hand corner as I'm resizing it, you're seeing the pixels change, and I need to get that down to about 174. There, I'm pretty close right there. Now, then I think what I said for the dimensions across from left to right is 270. So you will notice that if I hover over any of the borders of the image, that the cursor changes. And that's if you hover over right, left, top, or bottom. Well, what you can do is hover over the right side of this image, and I can drag it. And what will happen is that I'm going to create some extra space over there. There's nothing in that extra space, but it's resizing the image to work well as a thumbnail because I really need it to be 270 from right to left in order for it to not be cut off in the thumbnail. So there we go. I drag the right side and the left side evenly so that the image is actually right in the middle. And now I'm going to rename it. So usually my consistent naming style is to do an abbreviation for the building and then maybe a description of what it is. And then sometimes I do something like TN for thumbnail. So now the next thing I'm going to do is copy this to my desktop with the drag me feature in Sketch. Before I go too quickly here, I don't want to confuse you, but I have something called Hot Corners, which is set up in Expose on a Mac, and I will put a link in the description to a tutorial for how you set this up on your computer. Because if I go to my lower left corner and I touch it with my cursor, what happens is my windows slide away and I can see my desktop. If I touch my corners again, my windows come back and I can just go back and forth. It's an easy way to get to your desktop, which, by the way, I do clean up every once in a while. But I want this file on my desktop so I can upload it to my web page. So I click on Drag Me, and I'm going to go down to my hot corner, and I'm going to touch it so that it frees up my desktop so I can drop it on my desktop. And now it's called Gatewood Auction Item TN-1, and that's because I have another one over here. That's how the -1 came about. But I'm going to use this one because that's the one that's appropriately sized. Touch my hot corner to get back to here, and now I'm going to click Edit. I'm going to go down to the thumbnail image that wasn't in the right dimensions and remove it. And I'm going to choose the one that I just redid, which is the Auction Item -1. And I'm going to upload it because when I upload it, I get an alternate text field. where you describe what, oops, auction item, what this image is, because if somebody is using a reading browser because they are sight impaired, it will read the name of the image or read a description of the image instead of that person seeing the image. So that's probably an appropriate thing to do as well. All right, let's go down and save. And the page gets saved, and now I can click, these are called my cookies, and if I click on my cookies, I can go back to the parent page. And the first time it loads a little slowly, and it's quicker after that. And in a moment here, we will see that it is not cut off in the thumbnail spot on the page, and it looks a lot better. So that's how you resize to get a thumbnail image.